Prince William boarded a plane dressed as an ordinary citizen for the first time in his life. The treatment he received from the flight attendant was so bad that the prince was forced to reveal his true identity. What happened afterward shook the entire aviation industry. This extraordinary event that would take place on an ordinary flight from London to Manchester would not just be a flight attendant-passenger disagreement, but the most talked-about case in British aviation history. On a sunny March morning, Prince William was meeting with his private secretary James Mitchell at Kensington Palace. Daily schedules and official event lists were on the table. "Your Majesty," said James, "you have your charity visit in Manchester this afternoon. The private jet is ready, and the escort team is at your service," he said. William immediately intervened. "James, I want to do something different this time." "Different how, Your Majesty?" William replied while looking out the window. "I want to travel like a normal citizen, by commercial flight, without any protocol." James was surprised. "But Your Majesty, security protocol." William continued, speaking with determination. "James, I also want to experience what normal people go through. Always protocol, always special treatment. Sometimes I just want to be William." This idea had been on William's mind for a long time. Living constantly under royal protocol, going everywhere with special vehicles, always receiving different treatment was beginning to feel exhausting. He wanted to fly like an ordinary passenger for once. James expressed his concerns. "Your Majesty, what if you're recognized? What if there's a security issue?" "I'll take the risk, James. The security team can follow at a distance, but I'll behave like a normal passenger." At 10 a.m., William began a secret preparation process with his personal stylist and security expert, Robert Davies. "Robert, I need to look completely different. No one should see Prince William." Robert got to work professionally. A light beard makeup was applied to William's regularly shaven face. His hair was messed up, giving him a more ordinary appearance. Simple jeans, an ordinary shirt, and a sports jacket were chosen as clothing. The most important part was the sunglasses. A large, dark-lensed model that covered half his face. With these glasses, William's characteristic facial features were completely hidden. "Now you're a citizen named William Thompson, 35 years old, businessman," said Robert. William looked in the mirror. The royal elegance had truly disappeared. He was indistinguishable from an ordinary Englishman. Fake identity documents had been prepared. Plane ticket, credit card, driver's license. William Thompson officially existed. A security briefing was conducted. William's security team would travel on the same plane, but in different seats. They would only intervene in emergencies. At 2 p.m., William arrived at Heathrow Airport with his William Thompson identity. He was using the general terminal of the airport for the first time. Normally, he used private terminals and VIP lounges. Now he stood in the crowded main hall of Terminal 5, just like thousands of ordinary passengers. When he entered through the airport's main entrance, the size of the crowd surprised him. People rushing in all directions, dragging suitcases, phone conversations, announcement sounds. This chaos was a completely new experience for Prince William. He stood in front of the electronic board, searching for flight information. He found the writing that said, "Manchester 1530, check-in desk 47 to 52. Under normal circumstances, his private secretary would handle all these details. Now he had to find his way on his own. He wandered around the airport for 10 minutes until he found the check-in desks. Following direction signs, trying to find the right way, everything was a discovery for him. Waiting in the check-in queue was indeed a strange experience. Around him were ordinary people, families, business travelers. In front of him, an elderly couple was talking about vacation photos. Behind him, a young businesswoman was talking to her client on the phone, and no one was paying him special attention. The queue moved slowly. William began to get impatient. Normally, he never waited. Everything would be prearranged. Now he stood in line for 25 minutes. The check-in clerk handled his procedures in a bored manner. Name: William Thompson. The clerk typed something on the computer and looked at his passport. Business trip? William hesitated for a moment. Personal visit. Do you have baggage? No, just carry on. Window or aisle? Window would be fine. Gate B12, departure 15:30. Boarding starts at 1500. Have a good flight. While walking towards security control, William continued observing his surroundings. People were taking off their shoes, opening laptop bags, passing through metal detectors. He was experiencing these routine procedures firsthand for the first time. He also had to wait in the security line. He prepared his bag in front of the X-ray machine, took off his jacket, undid his belt. The security officer treated him the same way he treated other passengers, indifferent but professional. "Take off your sunglasses, too," said the officer. William panicked for a moment. There was a risk of being recognized without glasses, but he had to take them off. Fortunately, the officer just quickly checked and gave them back. Even when passing through security control, no one treated him differently. This was both reassuring and a strange feeling. The absence of the special treatment he was accustomed to as Prince William initially surprised him, but later began to feel liberating. When he reached the waiting area, he needed to find his gate. He walked through the terminal, looked at shops, passed by cafes. People were shopping, drinking coffee, reading books, playing with children. These ordinary moments of daily life seemed very interesting to him. When he found Gate B12, he sat in the waiting area. He continued observing his surroundings, how normal people behaved, how they waited, what they talked about. It was all like an anthropology lesson for him. A middle-aged woman sat next to him. She was talking to her daughter on the phone. "Yes, dear, I've boarded the plane. I'll call when I get to Manchester." An ordinary mother-daughter conversation, but it felt very intimate to William. When the flight announcement was made, he heard Group 3, boarding now. He checked his ticket. It was Group 3. He joined the queue with other passengers. There was no VIP priority. He would wait like everyone else. This also gave him a different experience. He boarded British Airways' Manchester flight. He had taken a middle-class seat, economy class but by the window. The plane was full, a typical domestic flight. He found his seat and put his bag in the overhead compartment. A middle-aged businessman was sitting next to him. He said "Good afternoon" from across, and William replied, "Good afternoon." William watched with curiosity as the cabin crew gave safety instructions. He had never seen these procedures from this angle. As the plane prepared for takeoff, William was genuinely excited. He was flying as an ordinary passenger for the first time. After takeoff, cabin service began. Flight attendant Sarah Mitchell started the beverage service with her team. Sarah was 28 years old and had been doing this job for 5 years. The stress at work had increased recently. Over time, difficult passengers, low wages. Her morale was down, and she was starting to reflect this in customer service. When she came to William's seat, she saw him dressed ordinarily, wearing sunglasses. She asked in a cold tone, "Beverage?" "Could I have coffee, please?" William replied. Sarah said with a condescending attitude, "Coffee." "This is economy class, no luxury service. We have tea or cola." William was surprised but remained calm. "Then tea would be fine, thank you." Sarah was a bit rough when placing the tea in front of him. "Sugar costs extra." William found this situation strange. "How is it extra?" "Additional services are paid, £2. William didn't object and gave the money, but Sarah's attitude didn't please him. Half an hour later, meal service began. Sarah came to William's seat again. "Do you want food?" The question was cold again. William replied without caring, "Yes, what do you have?" "Sandwich or salad? Sandwich £8, salad £6. William asked for a sandwich. Sarah gave him a plastic-wrapped cold sandwich. "Is this it?" William asked. What did you expect? This is economy class. You get the service you pay for. These words bothered William, but he didn't react yet. While eating, William observed that Sarah was treating other passengers similarly. She was rude to an elderly woman, showed impatience to a family with children. This wasn't just directed at him, it was a general attitude problem. After William finished his meal, he called Sarah. "Excuse me, could I get some napkins?" Sarah came in a bored manner. "Napkins?" "They were given with the meal." "They must have fallen. Extra napkins are 50 pence. William couldn't believe it. 50 pence for napkins? Those are the rules. Those who don't want it don't have to take it. Because he was faced with such an absurd situation, William raised his voice. "Isn't this a bit exaggerated?" Sarah became aggressive. "Who are you to question the rules? If you don't like it, use another airline." "I'm just talking about courtesy," William replied. Sarah laughed mockingly. "Courtesy? Did you expect business class treatment with your economy ticket?" William was now really angry, but was trying to control himself. Sarah's attitude was getting worse and worse. Other passengers were also starting to notice the situation. William addressed Sarah in a calm voice. "Madam, I think there's a misunderstanding." Sarah interrupted. "Madam?" How polite. "But look, can courtesy be bought with money? You have an economy ticket. You get economy treatment." "This way of speaking is not suitable for customer service," William responded. "Customer service?" Sarah raised her voice. "What kind of customer are you? You bought a cheap ticket and expect business class treatment." William stood up. His posture was now straighter. "I think this conversation is enough." "Who decided that too?" Sarah became even more aggressive. "Who are you to give me orders?" William began taking off his sunglasses. "You're asking who I am, aren't you?" William completely removed his sunglasses. His face was now fully visible. The businessman in the seat next to him first looked at William, then blinked. You... Sarah still didn't understand. "I don't care who you are. Sit in your seat." The businessman jumped up. "Your Majesty?" "Prince William." These words had a bomb effect on the plane. Other passengers turned and looked. Sarah's face turned white. "No, this isn't possible," Sarah murmured. William spoke in a calm but authoritative voice. "Yes, I am Prince William, and today I wanted to travel like a normal citizen." Sarah's legs started trembling. "Your Majesty, I didn't know." "Didn't you know?" William's voice sharpened. "Well, would you have behaved differently if you had known?" There was deep silence on the plane. All passengers were watching this unusual scene. William continued. "Sarah, think about the treatment you gave me today. This is the treatment you give not just to me, but to all passengers." Sarah started crying. "Your Majesty, I'm so sorry." William softened his voice, but maintained his seriousness. "Sarah, the problem isn't that you didn't know. The problem is that you treat every passenger this way." Captain Mike Roberts, who had heard about the situation in the cabin, came hurriedly. "Your Majesty, I had no knowledge of the situation." William turned to the captain. "Captain, I recommend you review this lady's customer service approach." Sarah said desperately, "Please, Your Majesty, I need this job." William turned to her. "Sarah, this job isn't just a means of making money. It's the responsibility of serving people. Is it right for someone who can't fulfill this responsibility to be in this position?" The captain took control of the situation. "Your Majesty, Miss Sarah will be immediately dismissed." William gave a surprising answer. Let's give her a chance, but she should receive customer service training and change her attitude." When the plane landed in Manchester, the airport was in great chaos. The news had spread, the press had gathered. As William was leaving through the normal gate, Sarah approached him one last time. "Your Majesty, why did you protect me?" William smiled. "Because everyone deserves a second chance, Sarah." but make good use of this opportunity. The next day, British press gave the news as headlines: Prince William flew as ordinary passenger, royal family member humiliated by flight. Attendant, British Airways immediately made a statement: "We are reviewing our customer services. All our staff will receive additional training." The Civil Aviation Authority launched an official investigation into the matter. Sarah Mitchell was temporarily suspended, but Sarah's story didn't end there. The second chance given by Prince William had deeply affected her. She received intensive customer service training and attended communication courses. 3 months later, Sarah returned to British Airways, but this time she was a completely different person. On her first flight, she helped an elderly couple, patiently dealt with a family with children, and approached every passenger with a smile. A passenger asked her, "You're very kind. We didn't expect such good service." Sarah smiled, "Because every passenger is special. We should show respect to all of them." A year later, Sarah received British Airways' Best Customer Service Award. When Prince William heard this news, he smiled and said to his private secretary, James, "Did you see James? People can change. They just need the right approach." William's experience affected not only Sarah, but the entire British aviation industry. CAA introduced new regulations. All cabin personnel received mandatory customer service training. Passenger complaints were evaluated more seriously. Airlines launched customer satisfaction improvement programs. British Airways CEO David Clark made a statement: "Prince William's experience taught us an important lesson. Every passenger, whoever they are, deserves the same respect." Other airlines also took similar steps: Virgin Atlantic, EasyJet, Ryanair. Customer service standards were reviewed in all of them. William's brave attempt became an important turning point in British aviation history. A prince's desire to experience ordinary citizenship brought unexpected results. This story teaches us important things. Every person, regardless of their status, deserves the same respect. Customer service is not just part of the job, but a requirement of humanity. Sarah's change shows that people can learn from their mistakes and do better. Sometimes all we need is a second chance and proper guidance. William just wanted to be an ordinary passenger that day, but in the end, he became a leader who changed an entire industry. And perhaps the most beautiful part, this experience also changed William. He had seen the difficulties ordinary people face firsthand, and his empathy had increased. So what would you do if faced with such a situation? Would you remain silent to injustice, or would you take action like William? Share your thoughts in the comments and tell us the feelings this story gave you. Don't forget to subscribe because many more inspiring stories await you. See you in the next video.